They've been growing organic grains in Denmark for quite some time.
Farmers tend to learn best from other farmers.
Millers, bakers, key players all along that bread-wheat food chain. In Denmark, you don't have to go too far outside of the major cities like Copenhagen to see fields everywhere. Almost 2/3 of the land base in Denmark is in agriculture, and of that, about 30% is in winter wheat in any given year. Wheat has traditionally been a very important crop, but today it's used almost exclusively for animal feed. For instance, the largest ag sector in eastern Denmark is pig farming. Yet, like here in New England, there's been a surge of interest in growing grain for human food. Our first host, Niels Mejnertsen, is a conventional pig farmer who recently stepped into that expanding organic bread wheat market. His was the largest operation we visited. He farms about 2,000 acres and grows and mills a variety of organic grains, including wheat, rye, and spelt.
And you're all in a jet lag still? That's wheat bread. Nothing to it. Pure wheat. And this is pure spring wheat, because last year we didn't have any winter wheat was any good. We need the spring wheat because the quality on the winter wheat is very poor. I mean, I think you are only allowed to take a certain amount of protein out of 1 hectare. And if it's high yielding, I mean, it's a lower percent of protein into it. And I think we have to because if you do all the conventional, they have been testing and making new variety all the time, and they are very high yielding, but the quality is getting worse every year. But nowadays they do have 10 or 11 ton to the hectare, but it's only for feed grades.
For organic bread wheat producers, it's been difficult to achieve adequate protein levels for winter wheat because it's just hard to supply enough nitrogen to a crop that grows over the winter. This is especially the case in Denmark, where they use soft wheats and have really high yields, like 4 to 5 tons per acre. So most of the producers in Denmark stick with spring wheats for bread flour. Another production challenge the Danes face, and we share here in New England, is the possibility of wet weather at harvest. Rain not only delays harvesting, but can also cause the grain to sprout, making it unsuitable for baking. When we visited, they had just experienced a particularly wet fall.
We do try to keep the quality high, so that's why we usually harvest very early. Like this year, we did start very early. We had a lot of rain when it all was ripened on the field, and we were all ready to go harvesting. It started raining, and it started raining. It stopped. Well, it was raining for 2 weeks, so we decided to put 24-hour shift on the header on the harvester. So we were running 3 weeks, not stopping the harvester. So we did 600 hectares without stopping the machine. Of course, we did stop the machine, but a lot of days we were running around the clock.
Yeah. Niels, you said you harvested wheat early. Do you know, like at the moisture, a really high moisture?
It was
24%.
Yeah, the average on this harvesting it was 19.6 on all of it. So we did have some very red.
Yeah.
It could be 22, 24, 25. It's a chain running in there. That's a 80 ton an hour, and we got 120 ton. That means that what we have in front of the dryer and behind the dryer, it's for running 5 hours. So actually, it do run around the clock without we have to be in the nighttime.
So you're drying in this tank?
No. You fill that one with wet.
Oh, okay.
With wet, and you run it through the cleaner.
Yep.
Lift it up, run it through the dryer.
Okay.
Lift it up and into that one, and you run it out to the silos for cooling them down.
Okay.
So we just have 60 degrees Celsius in there, drying it.
Yep.
The bottom of the dryer, I took it from the harvester, the one that measuring the moisture in the grain. So if it's coming some out of the dryer, it's too wet. It changes the elevator, so it's running this in again. So that way I make sure that all coming out of the dryer is definitely dry. If it's too wet, it returns into the dryer again.
And that's the nitrogen, the NIR.
That's NI.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't store anything without cleaning. So dump it in the pit there, it goes up and run through the big dryer. It's 25 square meters of chips in here.
So the top is the bed stone.
That's the bed stone, and then the one is the one that turns at the bottom.
And what is the revolutions per minute of the stones, or how
It's not very fast.
pretty slow?
Yeah, pretty slow. 200 revs or.
200, yeah.
The most of those mills, they are run by hand and controlled by hand, but we did make them automatically. So if something goes wrong, they stop automatically and take the stones away from each other. So it's all done automatically.
In addition to automating his milling, Niels is using tracking numbers to allow him and his customers to follow each lot of grain from planting to packaging. Like the other millers we visited, he's taking a field-to-table approach, capturing the value of a finished consumer product, and on a fairly large scale.
We didn't have the plan to sell it all the first day. I mean, we said it's better, it takes 5 years to get going, instead of making bad quality the first year, and you're done, and you're not done. Our customer would be a lot better if it was big restaurants, if it was big canteens that are making food for 100, 200, 500 people a day. Those canteens, a lot of companies, they're putting a lot of money into the canteens because that's one of the ways to support the employees. And they do have a request of organic, and they do have a request of quality. So actually that's what we're doing most. We are selling mostly in 15 kilo or 20 kilo bags on whole pallets to big canteens and big restaurants. And also beside that, we're selling the boxes there. You see, that's wheat, that's rye bread, and that is spelt bread. And it's all mixes. I'm more keen about telling the whole story of what we are producing and sell it that way. The most important thing is quality. That's number one. And organic, it's not even number two, it's 3 or 4 or 5. I mean, the best you can do is quality. And if you don't prove you're making quality, you're losing the game.
Well, we have made organic farming here since '86. Before that, my parents have it. It was not very controversial, but it was. They didn't know that they also do it a little way of organic.
Kristian Andersen is the owner of Garden, a small diversified farm and milling operation that's similar in scale to ours in New England. He farms about 300 hectares and grows each year about 100 hectares of wheat. Along with grains, his rotation includes potatoes and Brussels sprouts.
In the summer, it's a house for where we have all the corn. But then in the winter we put potatoes in. What kind is?
Yeah.
Dita. Well,
The same thing as any.
here you can perhaps imagine there is a very high, there is a channel where all the air coming. And there is 3 silos on this side and 3 silos on this side. And there's
Kristian is typical of the farmers we visited, whose nitrogen options are limited either by access to manure or by regulations that limit the amount they can apply. So their crop rotations include a year of clover or clover grass before the wheat to supply nitrogen.
we have 300 hectare. I think we have about 50 hectare with clover. And then we also very often have about 50 hectare with peas, small round. Of course, the clover is top of the hill, and then we come with wheat and potatoes sometimes, and then we start some peas again, and then we have, because rye and spelt, they don't need so much.
Right.
We use also special corn or grain. This is a dragon wheat. It's I think it's coming from Sweden. Nobody uses it today, only me. I think I'm the only one having this one. It has a very good high protein, and it is because it is a very low yielding.
Spring?
Spring. Yeah, spring. Yeah. We use mostly spring wheat because we also have winter, but it's not every year. It has no, not consistent. No.
In the quality or?
It's quality. This year it has been a very stupid weather when we harvest, so I think almost no winter wheat is good quality this year. Only, and this also I think I harvested when there was 25% water because it was raining every day.
Kristian's mill is hand-operated. There are no conveyor systems and the packaging is done by hand. Like several of the millers we visited, he uses slow milling speeds to keep the flour cool and preserve nutrients. He also uses his mill to remove the tough hulls of spelt by setting the millstones wider on the first pass.
And then before I put it into that, then we have this machine like this, and we make it very wide, so it's
Right.
just
Right, just touches it.
touches, yeah. And then when it has been totally clean, then it's looking like this.
Yeah, and
And then it's now it's spelt, and it's now 90% clean.
Right.
And then the rest we do here.
You run this through a second time, putting the stones
very,
closer
very
together.
much.
All right, very
Yes.
simple then. Yeah.
Then it is this product.
Yeah.
It is also rough, but it is. It's good. It's there.
Yeah, so where does the bran come out versus the flour?
Yeah. So it was running before.
He does this twice.
It's a little bit yellow, and it's because the little thing on top of the corn.
The jar.
It's of course. A lot of people telling me that I should buy very nice new machines, but every morning we get a lot of orders, and then I think we made 20 different things during the day. So therefore it's very hand form. So it's easier to do it that way, I think. Here we have made some special. Inside there is sea grass. Yeah, kelp. Yeah. And this is, you know what muesli is?
Yeah.
Let's go around.
I'll pass it around. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
Kristian's brand Mallory is sold directly to consumers, but he uses a variety of distribution strategies. Customers can order and pay online if they wish. The orders are then custom milled and can be picked up at the farm or shipped. For bakers and chefs, he delivers. Kristian told us that he purposely markets his flour to the very best restaurant and the very best bakery in each town so that consumers will associate his products with high quality.
Then she pay 120 kron in the box. Can also put it in the internet bank, and then you take it.
So these are individuals, but
This individual, yeah.
and if you were selling to, you said maybe a restaurant, do you
Yeah.
deliver? Do they come and pick it up?
We bring it out, yeah.
You
This is
do?
for private.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we saw your truck out.
And then also, if somebody in the village like to buy it, then they can come here.
Kristian told us he has no problem selling his flour even though the price is high, and he felt that the market in Denmark could support 20 mills of his size. For more information about the Northern New England Local Bread Wheat Project, visit us at extension.umaine.edu/localwheat.